Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Duo in the Grand Tie case in 18 karat rose gold. You can see this dual time zone rotating case timepiece and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this elegant and versatile timepiece with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for what may be the definitive Jaeger-LeCoultre. Now, invariably, when folks tell me they're going to start a collection of Jaeger-LeCoultre or add just one iconic reference, something very much like this is what I recommend to them. Get it in rose gold, get it in steel, but combine the Reverso with the Duo complication and you've got your one and only. If you were to stop there, you would have a very complete representation of what the manufacturer Jaeger-LeCoultre does well. Now, this is the Grand Tie case, first seen in the 60th anniversary Reverso in 1991. It's nice and compact, but it has an impressive wrist presence and probably comes closest in aspect ratio to being the true golden rectangle proportion that we often bandy when we discuss Reversos. So from lug to lug, it's 42 millimeters. Across the case, not inclusive of the crown, from 9 to 3, it measures 26. It's not a particularly thick watch, 9.8 millimeters thick with a nicely rounded case flank. You can see how it can easily slide underneath the dress cuff. Of course, my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, oval in profile. You can see how much that strap flares out as it exits the case, meaning that you could wear this on a much smaller wrist than mine. I would say down to 13.5 centimeters in circumference. You can wear this watch with good proportion and style. Now, when I talk about the golden section and the proportions of the case, I mean length to width and the relative proportion of the length to the width. The so-called golden ratio or golden rectangle would have a length that is roughly 1.618 times its width. Here, the length of the case is 1.615 and change, so we are very close to that mathematically pre-programmed sense of aesthetic pleasure, built into our mind, seemingly programmed into nature. It's also built into the design of the watch. Now, the strap is close drilled, and as with all Reversos, you have a highly integrated look with no daylight showing between strap and case. The strap is very substantial and probably more massive in construction than it has to be for such a petite dress watch, but I will say this, the quality is undeniable, and that robust construction and perhaps over construction means it will last a very long time. Semi-gloss, rectangular scale black alligator leather with a folded edge and a monotone stitch. There's a supple calfskin on the underside. You can see that it's a brand new strap. Jaeger-LeCoultre, the first generation deployant buckle, there was a fluted center line that runs down the second generation single fold deployant, and after that, from the year 2006 on, we went to the double deployants. This is solidly mid to late 1990s in design, but very substantial, and it nicely counterbalances the watch on the wrist. I prefer this by a great measure over a pin buckle, far more security. Now, the case features the classical reversing aspect, such that you can quickly turn it to its guilloche cut and blackened and luminescent reverse side. Now, this is your reference time zone. It's the time zone where you are not, and that's why it has a 24-hour indicator. That small hand at the base of the reverse dial makes one circuit for every 24 hours. So you know, for instance, whether you're looking at 12 minutes to 3 a.m. or 12 minutes to 3 p.m. Now, beautiful broadsword hands and luminescent tri-Arabics on the reference side, a more classical Art Deco inspired silvered front with a dimple style track outboard. You can see it very subtle, and then a satin finished hour track with very simple Art Deco inspired Arabic numerals, stretched more tall than wide to correspond to the proportions of the case. You can see there's a clou de Paris cross hatching across the center. There's a textured and printed minutes track, and then there is a countersunk sub-seconds at 6 o'clock. Beautifully balanced, handsome, and classical. For me, in the modern era, the Reverso has come so far from its days as a reversible watch with a metal caseback to block polo mallets that you can no longer consider it in its classical form to be a serious sports watch. And so the use of that second side becomes paramount, and thanks to the caliber 854 manual wind inside the Duo, you get that second time zone, you get the double-sided watch, and the Reverso, once a sports watch with an impregnable caseback, becomes a modern platform for useful complications. Caliber 854 Originally created in 1994 for the first Reverso Duo, which was mounted in the Grand Tie case size we have here. It features a 45-hour power reserve, 21,600 vibration per hour beat rate. It is a properly sized and shaped movement in the tradition of a true manufacturer, built for this case rather than a repurposed, undersized, or round movement from a different watch series. So you have essentially a glove made by Jaeger-LeCoultre, as you can see the maker's mark in the hallmarks and maker's marks within the chassis, and you have the hand in the glove, the movement within. See it and own it, and get your JLC collection started on our website.